Hello, Moira here from Daisy Knots and welcome back to the Mosaic Sampler Cal. We are on pattern 6 this week. This week's pattern is referred to as the snail pattern by one of my ladies on a Tuesday morning. As we see, it goes round and round. We're back to 3 colours this week, with 1 and 3 being the same and colour 2 being offset by 6 stitches. The pattern is a 12 row pattern by 12 stitches, and the only rows that are the same are rows 6 and 8. Pattern 5 was completed with row 13, which was colour A, which was white, and now we're ready to start with colour F for the first row in pattern 6, which in my case is this brown. So row 1 is completed. I'm now ready to look at row 2. Row 2 has got 10 double crochets that we will do before we come to our drop treble. So 10 double crochets, drop treble, and then 1 more double crochet, giving us 12 stitches in all. We then will repeat this until the end of the row. Row 2 has been completed. We can see our drop trebles and we can tick them off. Row 3 has got 9 double crochets before we hit that first drop treble, then another double crochet, and then another drop treble. Here we go, here's row 3. We can now tick it off. Row 4 starts with a drop treble, then 7 double crochets, another drop treble, a double, and another drop treble and a double. So 3 drop trebles in this pattern. Here we go, row 4. All completed, we can tick it off, and now let's look at row 5. Row 5 starts with our double crochet, then a drop treble, then 5 double crochets, and then another drop treble, another double, another drop, another double, and then a final drop treble. 4 drop trebles this time. And this is what our row 5 looks like. So we can now tick off row 5 and start looking at row 6. Row 6 starts with a drop treble, then a double, then another drop treble, and 5 doubles, a drop, a double, a drop, a double. So now we're ready to start row 7, which has got the most amount of trebles. It's actually got 7 drop trebles in it. So we start with a double, then a drop, then a double, then another drop treble, then another drop treble, then a double, 2 more drop trebles, a double, a drop treble, a double, and finally a drop treble. So this is what row 7 looks like. It was a bit hungry on the yarn with all those drop trebles. Row 8, we've got 4 drop trebles this time, so not quite so many to do. So we start with our drop treble, then we have a double crochet, and then we have another drop treble before we have 5 double crochets. Then we have another drop treble, a double, a drop, and a double. And now row 8 is completed. You can see we're starting to see a little bit of that snail pattern developing. Row 9 with 4 drop trebles again. So we start with a double, then a drop treble, then another double and another drop treble. 5 double crochets, drop treble, another double, and the last drop treble. 4 drop trebles altogether. Now we've completed row 9, we can actually start to see the pattern emerging a lot more now. Row 10 starts with a drop treble, then a double, then another drop treble, and then 7 double crochets, then our final drop treble and a last double crochet. Our pattern's looking great now, and we are back on to row 11 now, and row 11 only has 2 drop trebles. First stitch is a double, then one of the drop trebles, and then it's 9 double crochets before we get our last drop treble. So we're just about finished this pattern, only 1 row to go before it's actually completed. Our last row of this pattern only has 1 drop treble and then 11 double crochets before we actually get to the next pattern repeat. So that's 1 drop treble and 11 double crochets for row 12. And here's our completed pattern, all our snail trails looking very nice. And here we go with all 3 colourways of the Afghan, and you can see that colour 2 is off centre, and also that the colourways have got a diagonal going up through them. So we've now completed pattern 6, and I'll see you back next week for pattern 7.